Hello and namaste, my friends. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of October the 9th, 2023. Now, let's set the stage for this week. We are dealing with so much intense astrology this week, so it requires you to be nimble. It requires you to slow down. There are many clashing energies, and so there will be a lot of different vibes to work with, some of which are very volatile, right? So we need to approach it with wisdom and understand what areas of life are getting activated for you. So of course, if you know your chart, that is always the best. Now, as we begin the week, we are still in this energy of Mars in the sign of Libra, being depleted to a certain extent by the South Node. In a square, in a clash configuration with Pluto, the planet of death, dying, and rebirth. All right, this is a very difficult aspect. It's a violent aspect. It is still in play through, I would say, the 14th. And remember, one of the things to pay attention to is this week Mars is going to move into Scorpio, but as it comes to that completion degree, the 29th degree, there is a pressure to finish up the curriculum. So know where the late degrees of Libra are in your chart. Understand where Capricorn is in your chart and try to see the bigger picture view of what's going on here, all right? Now, as we start the week on Monday, we also have the Sun coming into an opposition with Chiron. This is really going to illuminate what hurts, what doesn't feel good. The Libra area of our lives is being massively challenged, okay? And it's really highlighting for us positive partnerships, negative partnerships, where our social niceties are good and positive for us, and when we also, the shadow of that Libra energy is when we're nice, when we need to be honest instead, right? When we try to smooth things over that really shouldn't be. They should be addressed right away before it becomes something more intense or difficult, right? So it's really about setting beautiful boundaries for yourself and for others, right? That's a healthy relationship, right? Now, I also want you to pay attention to Tuesday, the 10th, because that is the day that Pluto is going to pause in the sky. Now, remember, as these outer planets station, they pause and begin their motion, either forward or backwards, in this case, forward. It is like a timestamp. It is like a brand, right? And it's like a searing type of energy that lets you really see what the message of this transit was. Remember, Pluto will not be back here again in your lifetime, and this is the last turn. Again, it is highlighting the United States Pluto as well, so look at the bigger picture symbols, but also the interior symbols, your symbols, what's wrapping up in the Capricorn area of your life, what has died and is ready for the Phoenix stage, which begins literally next month, okay? We do have a little bit of a moon void on the 10th. I want you to watch 5:37 a.m. to 8:02 a.m. Eastern. So pay attention to that. But then we also step into another difficult energy because Venus in the sign of Virgo is going to stand across the sky from Saturn. And so Saturn in Pisces, Venus in Virgo. I always think personally that the Virgo Pisces axis is just like one of the more difficult oppositions, all right? Because they're such a different vibe, such a different energy, right? And Venus is not real happy to be in Virgo, and Saturn is not really loving being in Pisces. And so there has to be this equal tension that you discover. Now, this is going to be in play all the way through the rest of the week, and especially with Saturn, it can fire late. So don't just assume nothing comes up on that day that you've moved past this energy, right? It's the beginning of a new cycle because they're both at the, at the very early degrees, the 0 degrees. So pay attention to what you're trying to balance here. What is that discerning Virgo energy telling you about the inspirational Pisces energy, right? How can you find that structure and balance, that reality check that's not too harsh? So try to stay really present with that energy because Saturn's actually the good guy here this week, okay? All right. Now, on the 11th, Mars comes to that very last degree, and so there'll be a pressure to completion. And if you have not managed the Mars and Libra energy up till now, there can be an explosive wrapping up of that transit, right? So watch that. And then on the 12th, Mars moves into Scorpio. Mars loves being in Scorpio. Okay, this is a much more happy Mars, but it's definitely a much more intense Mars. So see the shift of where Mars and Scorpio is in that area of life for you. Scorpio energy is about to receive some major highlights over these next few weeks. All right, we have also on the 12th, another moon void, 4:10 p.m. to 8:22 p.m. Eastern. Adjust that for time zones. Sorry about the filming. It's a busy street. All right. Now, on the 13th, that Mars in Scorpio is going to begin to pick up a trine energy to the Saturn. Remember, Saturn's the good guy this month. All right. So see where that beautiful water trine, where that shows you where the work is, how you can flow the Scorpio and Pisces areas of your life together, right? And I really think one of the big lessons of Saturn and Pisces is going to be put structure to your beliefs, put structure to your spiritual practices, firm up, solidify your understanding of how things work inside of you and in the greater cosmic world. And that will be an assistant, an aid, a refuge, a resting place for you throughout this 2 years of Saturn and Pisces. And then our first eclipse of this this season, we have on the 14th, we have a new moon solar eclipse. It's at 21 degrees of Libra. You may very obviously see something that's been being tested by this Mars transit through Libra and through the South Node moving backwards through Libra. This is almost like a new beginning that comes from an ending. It comes from something dissolving or being taken away, a negative partnership vibe, a collaboration that's no longer working, a way of functioning with others in your engagement with others that just has to go, all right, or is taken. It's at 1:55 p.m. Eastern. And remember, Mercury, the moon, and the sun, all in Libra, right? Having this eclipse, and right across the sky, we have Chiron in Aries. Again, any healing energy, things that come up that really need to be resolved, don't just sweep it under the rug, okay? It's time to resolve some of these issues. It's time to process. It's time to explore, heal, and move forward, right? Really, really important. So again, even though it's a new moon, it's not really a big manifestation moon. It's more of like a tie your knot and hang on kind of moon. Or tie your knot and get ready to untie it moon, because again, eclipses tend to bring completions or endings. And I always like to remind you, I often get through the 24 hours of an eclipse and I'm like, whew, made it, and then bam, the karma comes. So don't consider this energy finished by the next day. You may even feel it into the next week, and of course the eclipse energy will ripple out over the next several years. All right. And then we finish up the week on the 15th. We've got another big moon void, 3:01 a.m. Eastern to 7:04 a.m. Eastern. So adjust for your timelines and time zones. And that moon in Libra, right, still coming out of that energy of the eclipse, comes into a square configuration with Pluto wrapping up the week. It is a really big, intense energy week. And so stabilize as much as you can. Remember the Saturnian vibe, Saturn as your friend, not just the dark angel of learning, but as the structure, the foundation. You can get some good energy in that Mars in Scorpio trine to that Saturn in Pisces. So that's your anchor for the week. And it's a watery anchor, right? So engage positive water energy, right? You know, if you have a body of water you can be with, go there, do a ritual, take lots of baths, showers, rinse things off, tap into your emotional body, tap into your intuition, understand what you're feeling and processing, and that will be an aid and a guide for you this week. All right, well, namaste, my friends. Good luck. Let me know how this eclipse goes for you, and I will see you in the tarot. Hello, my friends, and welcome to your Isis Lotus Tarot spread for the week of October the 9th, 2023. Super volatile week. There's an enormous amount of energy to work with this week. So let's see what's going on. Probably should shuffle these before I film. I appreciate your patience. Sometimes it takes a while for the cards to be ready. All right, cards are ready. So let's check out this week. Now, as we begin, the first card tells us about the past. And we've got the Five of Pentacles. So this sense of lack, this feeling of not having enough, we just don't have the resources. We don't feel like we're surrounded by people that are supportive. There's just this feeling of being left out or in a state of vulnerability. Okay, so that's the past. The present, you, Ace of Wands, you are ready to start something new. The present environment, Nine of Wands. But believe it or not, you are moving in the right direction and you have made some progress, right? And the culmination of these is, Queen of Wands energy, which means, yes, you are in charge of getting things moving. You need to feel responsible, and not just responsible, but empowered to make these choices and to move forward. Key card, Knight of Wands. Wow, this is a lot of wand energy. The key card is, hey, you got to get going, right? You've got to start doing it, right? And those opposing forces, well, one of the doings could be walking away, right? This is the Eight of Cups, the Tupac Shakur card, as I call it. Leave the pieces on the floor and move on. Or the other initiatory action would be Queen of Cups, to really embrace your deep inner healer, your intuitive, emotional self, and really take charge of your life in this way that's more about caring and keeping, right? So, either way, there's an action that needs to be taken, all right? Now, the key card of the future, Magician. Woohoo! All right. So this is an indicator and reminder, hey, you can do this. You've got this, all right? So two possible ways of working with the energy. On the walk away side, we've got the Five of Swords, which is an indicator of, hey, perhaps you're too focused on one particular thing and you're really not seeing the big picture. All right. On the Queen of Cups side, we have the Three of Cups, which indicates abundance, blessings, and reasons to celebrate. Paired with that Five of Swords on the Eight of Cups side, we have the King of Wands. So we may have to deal with some kind of issue with somebody who's in charge. There could be anger. There could be, all this wand energy really makes me want to caution you against anger, upset, or fighting. But I would say this is an initiation forward after you walk away from whatever that is. And on the Queen of Cups side, we've got the Sun. All right, so paired with that Three of Cups, we've got the Sun, being able to shine, being able to bring forth your light, thinking optimistically, abundantly. So I like that. That's great. All right, let's see here. We've got our two potential outcomes on the Eight of Cups side, right? You walk away from something. You're assured that it's going to work out. You have to watch that you really aren't focused on only one thing when you start the new thing. But here's the choices card, right? You've got to make a decision. On the Queen of Cups side, you're trusting your intuition. You know that you have it all together. You have something to be happy and celebratory about, and you want to be seen. But here's the Death card. It's a different kind of ending, right? Each it's so much the eclipse energy, right? Eclipse energy is endings. The one option here is to have that ending right away. The other one is to begin to work towards something and realize that in order to achieve it, something else has to end. Paired with the Two of Wands, the Tower. Okay, another indicator of big, huge change. With the Death card, the Queen of Pentacles. So practical, abundance, earthy, grounded. Very interesting ways to manage the energy of the week. But either way, you're going to be required to take actions, Knight of Wands. So you're either walking away from something, okay, which means something new is going to begin. Or you're really tapping into that inner intuitive, more of like a mothering kind of energy, all right? So you don't have to be an actual mother to embrace this energy, right? We all birth our creative projects, right? So one definitely feels a little more comfortable than this, right? But if you've waited too long to walk away from something, that's when things kind of have to go sideways. Make sure you're seeing the big picture and taking appropriate actions. But once you make that decision, things will start to evolve and shift very quickly with that Tower energy. All right. Either way, there is an ending this week. All right. But remember, all endings are really just beginnings. All right, my friends, stay safe, stay grounded. I'm wishing you the absolute best and most wonderful week. Lots of love.